Russo's brand family. We are family.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Gabriel Devine, and he is Titanic, and this is Wrestling with the Locals. Today we have a very huge guest. I'm honored to have this man joining us from Alabama on the phone today. Without further introduction, I can't even say enough nice things about him taking out the time to talk to us today. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Conrad Thompson himself. Conrad, go ahead.
Hey, man, thanks for having me on, guys. Appreciate you taking a little time with me today to catch up and talk about some wrestling.
Man, we appreciate you. I know you're very busy with the mortgage company and all the stuff you're doing over there. Who all are you podcasting with now? I know you've got a list of them, man.
Bruce Prichard every Friday at noon at somethingtowrestle.com. Monday is all about 83 weeks with Eric Bischoff, and on Wednesday we've got What Happened When with Tony Schiavone. You can keep up with all of that by following me on Twitter at Hey It's Conrad.
That's awesome, man, and we definitely follow you. And like I said, we appreciate you coming on. And I listen to the podcast. Titanic listens to the podcast. We love what y'all are doing, and we kind of do the same thing around here. We're trying to put over local guys that anywhere from Arkansas, Louisiana, Tennessee, just wherever. Conrad, when did you get your start and love for the business, man?
1988, my parents rented WrestleMania 4 on a double VHS back in the day when people went to the video store to rent movies, and that's what they rented for me, and I was hooked.
That's cool, man. So what was your favorite match on that show?
They all sucked.
Right? So exactly, how did you get your start with wrestling, brother?
That was it, man. Started watching WrestleMania 4 on VHS, and here we are.
Right, I understand. And I know you did do the podcast with Flair at one time, right?
Yeah, in 2015, he had an opportunity to do a podcast with CBS on Play.it. He asked me to come in and ask fan questions, and I was happy to do so. And before you know it, I became an accidental podcaster. And we had fun, and it worked out, and here we are.
Man, we appreciate it, and like I said, we love what you do.
So I listen to you every day at work, which is probably not what I'm supposed to do, but I have a good question for you here. Are you a WWE guy or a WCW guy?
You know, both. When I was a little kid, I was certainly more of a WWF guy. I mean, I grew up on Hulk Hogan. He was the deal for me. But then eventually, I think a lot of us grew an appreciation for what Jim Crockett Promotions was doing. But yeah, as a little kid, for sure, I was a little Hulkamaniac.
I know you. I was listening to some of the podcasts this week, and I know you got to. Did you get to go to an ECW show?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I went to several ECW shows, but the first one was, the most important one to me was Cyberstorm 1999. But then, of course, when they brought it back in 2005, I mean, that was a game changer for me. That was a big deal. And I went to One Night Stand, and it's still probably my favorite wrestling memory.
Oh, yeah. I love sitting back and watching the older stuff on the network and everything. That's when wrestling was wrestling, and ECW was something totally different, and that's pretty much how the Southern wrestling was around here, around Memphis and stuff. So, I mean, I really enjoy that kind of hardcore wrestling, if it is.
Absolutely, man. The good old days. I don't think we'll ever see a passion for a product the way we had for ECW ever again.
I agree. And wrestling has lost a lot of the traditions that they had. I mean, it's still good. It just depends on which market you're into, because you've got so many now. You've got the New Japan style, you've got WWE style, Ring of Honor, and everybody's a little different. What do you think about Jericho and the cruise that he's doing?
Oh, man, I'm hoping it's hugely successful for him. He's a good guy, and he's always looking to sort of innovate and create some new stuff, and that's something nobody's really done before, at least in this generation. I know they tried it once before with WCW and with the WWF. I think one was the Wrestle Vessel and the other was the Bruise Cruise, but they quit doing them. And normally corporations don't quit doing stuff that works.
Right.
So it makes you wonder if they stop doing it, maybe it wasn't as profitable as it could have been, or they hoped it might be. But I'm hoping that is not the story that we get from Mr. Jericho. I'm hoping that he reports that it was sold out, hanging from the rafters, hugely successful, the first of many.
Right. I know that some of the cabins on the ship itself, they've already booked up pretty good, so I'm hoping that it does turn out good. I know that y'all are doing StarCast in Chicago, correct?
That's right. We're the official convention partner for All In. Of course, that's happening over Labor Day weekend in Chicago, and we've got 20-plus stage events over 4 days right there in the suburbs of Chicago. There's a little community called Schaumburg, Illinois, and there in Schaumburg, we've got something for everybody. We're pretty excited about it.
That's awesome, and that's a great big deal for Cody and the Young Bucks to pull that off and get All In to sell out as fast as they did.
No doubt about it. I don't think anybody really saw that coming. I think a lot of people assumed they would do well. That's no surprise that they would do well, but the real surprise is that it sells out. Not that it sells out, but that it sells out in a half hour, or actually under a half hour. Just unbelievable success, and I think they've got everybody's attention, and all eyes in the wrestling world will be in Chicago that weekend for sure.
Most definitely, and I look forward to it. As a matter of fact, there's a local promotion out of Cape Girardeau, Missouri that we promote on here known as CCW. They actually have a booth they've announced set up for the StarCast and stuff like that, so they're going to be a part of the StarCast the convention thing. They were talking about that on their Facebook pages and stuff, so I thought that was a pretty big deal for them, and that's a big deal for anybody, for independent wrestling fans, because guys like Cody Rhodes and man, he's going for the the NWA World Title. That's a big deal, and he'd be the first second generation wrestler to ever hold the NWA World Title. So that's a big deal.
I think it's a big deal for the NWA too. He's got the hot hand right now, so having your championship belt around the waist of Cody Rhodes is probably best for business.
Man, he took himself out of WWE, and he's marketed himself, and he's made himself, one of the top guys out there today. Which, I knew he could. I knew his dad. I met his dad, and I met his brother Dustin, and I loved working with them, but I never got the pleasure to meet Cody, and I would love to. But, man, he is really something, and I love it.
Yeah, I think everybody's really proud of the success he's had. I know I am, and I had an opportunity to get to know him a lot better working on this convention together, and I'm just proud for all of his success. And it's hard to argue that he's not the top guy. Of course, a lot of people would contend that Kenny Omega is the best wrestler in the world, but for the most part, we catch him in Japan. But Cody's sort of all over the place. He's one of the last cowboys of professional wrestling, and obviously the Young Bucks are white hot, but they're a tag team act. So when you talk about a singles guy, just an individual performer, it's probably pretty hard to find somebody who has the, as Ric Flair would say, the cross-demographic appeal that Cody Rhodes has.
True there, man. You're right about that. And, man, I'm kind of at a starstruck situation. Don't really know what to ask you. You want to talk about any of your shows y'all have got coming up? You want to talk about more about the StarCast or anything?
Man, we're excited about StarCast. The show is completely sold out, but you can still come see some meet and greets. We still have opportunities for those. But most of all, you can join us on pay-per-view, fight.tv/StarCast. So it's going to allow everybody to join in on all the fun from anywhere around the world. You can enjoy it now from the comfort of your own home, so you don't have to worry about booking a plane or getting a hotel or any of those travel expenses. You can just go straight to fight.tv/StarCast and go ahead and click pre-order. And by doing so, you're going to reserve a piece of the All-In ring canvas, which is huge because, as you said, wrestling history is going to be made that night. We've got Okada taking on Marty Scurll, and they've just announced the Hangman Page, Joey Janela match, the NWA World Title, and if history's made there, we'll be seeing a title change. Hopefully, I'm pulling for Cody. I'm a homer, and he'd be the first second-generation NWA World Champion, and that would all happen on this very ring canvas with a lot of other greats like Pentagon Jr. and the Young Bucks, and how about Rey Mysterio? Is this his last run, his last major show before he goes back up north? Maybe, maybe not. We'll find out. But All In is available to you in a ring canvas form. You can take home part of the fun, and it'll be delivered to you. All you've got to do is go check out the pre-order option at fight.tv/StarCast. And Fight is spelled F-I-T-E, and there's 2 R's in StarCast. Fight.tv/StarCast.
Man, that's awesome, and we'll definitely be checking that out because, like I said, we're huge fans of yours, and I'm just like you, man. I'm pulling for Cody. The minute that was announced, I said, I guarantee you something's going to happen. Cody has got to win that because he is on top of the world right now. He's been Ring of Honor champion. The only thing, he got toppled by Kenny Omega when they did the G1 special out in California, but I was pulling for him then. I'm a huge Omega fan, but I was pulling for Cody.
I think everybody's pulling for Cody. I know there's a minority who maybe aren't as up on his skills or his specific type of promo or in-ring style, or maybe they just don't like what he did in the WWE or whatever. But I'm a super Cody fan, and I've been sold on him, and hopefully everybody will check it out because whether you want him to win or you want him to lose, you have a vested interest in the match, and that's what it's all about. And I'm sure there'll be some Nick Aldis fans there. I'm sure across the pond there's a ton of folks pulling for Nick Aldis. But Chicago, man, that's what it's all about. September 1st, all in. And the rumor and innuendo is that we're actually going to get that on Fight as well. They haven't officially announced that, but if that winds up happening, you can go to Fight.tv and lock in everything, and your weekend's all set.
Man, that'll be awesome because I'd love to check that out. I'd love to not have to make that trip because I got to work that weekend. We were talking about making that trip up just to check everything out live, and we both got to work, and so we were like, man, we'll have to figure something out. And that's great news if that is, like you said, rumor and innuendo that it could be on Fight. So, I mean, that would be awesome if it was. So, Conrad, how long have you been doing the podcast? I know you said you're doing 83 weeks with Eric Bischoff, and that's a newer one. And you've been doing the one with Tony and Bruce for a while. How long have you been podcasting with these three here recently?
Coming up on my 2-year anniversary with Bruce. I think that'll be in another week or so. And then 2 years with Tony will be in January.
That's awesome, man.
Y'all are definitely under my favorites, I can tell you that.
Man, they're like the only podcasts I have on my phone. I listen to some of Jericho's, but he does a lot with the different, he doesn't do just wrestling, and I like to hear him talk about, and I definitely love Bruce's because he goes into detail about the backstage stuff. So I love listening to that. A lot of fans don't get to see that side of it, and so I love how y'all brought that back, man. So it's really awesome.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. There's a lot of choices out there, so when you guys settle in on something that I'm doing, that makes me happy. I appreciate that.
And I do have a question, and I don't know. I'm going to word this as I can because I don't want to step on anyone's toes, but I know that y'all were recently doing another version of Something to Wrestle With on the WWE Network. How did that come about, and are y'all going to be able to come back for a Season 2 on that?
Yeah, we're trying to work out the details right now on Season 2. They'd love to have us back, and we're certainly not opposed to coming back. It's just a matter of us trying to figure out a way to make the money work, and that's what we're working on now, and we're looking forward to it, and hope that everybody will check us out.
That's awesome, man. And like he said, he listens to y'all all day at work. Unfortunately, I'm not able to, so I do it, when we're on road trips. I'm traveling from show to show on the weekends and things like that, but man, I've listened to y'all for as long as I can remember. That's why I was wondering how long y'all had been doing it, because I used to be honest with you, I used to run a paper route at night as my shoot job when I wasn't wrestling. I would run papers at night, and I would listen to podcasts all night while I was out delivering papers, and that's when I first got started into the podcast. And it really helped me to get through the night and stuff like that. So, but we appreciate what you're doing. Go ahead, bub.
Well, I was just going to say, that's cool, man. I appreciate you guys checking us out and supporting us and letting everybody know about the show today.
Hey, and man, that's what we're here for. It's not about us. I mean, we've had our time in the ring, and we still do a few things here and there, but we're here, and the reason we're doing this is we've explained before is we're to get guys over, help promote shows, help promote other podcasts, anything we can to help anybody out in any way. And just by you taking the time out, man, and showing us some support and coming on here and helping us out, that'll increase our numbers to help increase everybody's numbers, and that's awesome. And we really appreciate you for coming on and taking the time to have a conversation with us and let us put you on our podcast, man. We really appreciate that. We can't thank you enough.
No, man, thank you guys. I really appreciate the opportunity to come on and chop it up with you. And follow me on Twitter. I'd love to have your follow. I am at Hey, it's Conrad.
We've already followed you, and we'll make sure to share that, and I'll retweet some of your stuff so folks can see it because, man, we want to get you guys out there. And if you want to, go ahead and let everybody know where they can find y'all's podcasts and anything else that y'all got going on. And
Starrcast.com, man. That's really all anybody needs to know. STARRCAST.com, and you'll get all your information there about how you can check out the show and do the meet and greets and come see us on pay-per-view.
That's awesome, man, and we appreciate it. And hopefully maybe we can sit down after Starrcast and maybe have you on again and ask you how that went, and you can give us some stories from that. And you got any funny stories you want to share about doing podcasts with the guys? And
man, it's a blast every time. You know, I'm privileged to be able to do it and then get to talk about it and record it for everybody to hear. So it's fun to let some of these old stories, you know, come out, and hopefully people are having as much fun as we are recording them.
I know one night we was out riding around, and I believe you and Eric was talking about the Great American Bash, and we just started rolling laughing, tears coming out of my eyes, when Eric started talking about his taking his Blue Chew and trying to get in depth about it. And it was just totally hilarious. I recommend anybody that's never heard it needs to hear that one.
It's wild, man. It's one of our best sponsors. You know, we've had a lot of fun with those silly commercials, and people are digging it. And, you know, it's great for the advertisers, too, because there's not a lot of folks who would be talking about a commercial right now. You know what I mean?
Right. But if there's anything else, would you have any questions for us?
No, man, I'm proud of you guys having fun and doing your own thing on the podcast, and hopefully you're having as much fun as we are, and raise a little awareness, make some money, and that's what it's all about.
Man, we are. We're having a blast. And just a real quick thing, I don't know if you know who the Moondogs are, but Moondog Spot actually trained my brother over here at Titanic. And so he's been around for 20 years now, and you know, I've been around this is my 18th year, and we've both worked with some of the biggest names that we, you know, could have ever hoped to have met in our little indie careers. And it's just an honor to get to sit down and have a conversation with you, man. And I know I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. You're a damn good podcaster, and it's an honor and a privilege to have you on the show. And we thank you so much for coming on today. And I know we weren't able to talk, you know, for more than a few minutes, but it was just great to have you on. We'll promote all your stuff for you every time we're on, just so that, you know, we help y'all out a little bit. And we thank you, man.
Well,
we really appreciate it.
Hey, man, thank you very much, dude. I appreciate all the support. It means a lot to me.
It means a lot to us, you coming on, and we hope that everybody enjoys the short interview we got with you. And, man, thank you. Carl, you got anything to say? I mean, it's just...
Man, you know, you have my phone number at any time you want to kick it with us, talk some more wrestling. Please call us, and I mean, we'll sit down and talk.
Sounds great, man. Thank you guys very much. Thank you for all you do.
Appreciate it, man. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good one, brother. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this was just an amazing conversation that came about by chance. Something that we didn't think would turn into much has turned into something, guys, because as you just heard with that short interview, we were just on the phone with the podcasting superstar himself, the Conrad Thompson. Ladies and gentlemen, he is on podcast 83 Weeks with Eric Bischoff, Something to Wrestle with Bruce Prichard, What Happened When with Tony Schiavone. He is helping promote Starrcast, the convention that will be the all-in exclusive convention. Over 40 hours of pay-per-view quality stuff will be available on the Fight app, as well as, you know what I'm saying. It's just amazing, guys. So, I mean, if you listen to podcasts, the podcast to listen to besides ours, there's the top three other than ours right there, guys. 83 Weeks, Something to Wrestle with, and What Happened When. because we just got a chance, and I'm not trying to give away too much, but he was on his way to record another one, so he didn't have much time to talk to us. But he took time out to phone us and to get with us and help support our podcast, ladies and gentlemen. You know, Conrad Thompson, we thank you, and like he said, follow him at Hey Hey. It's Conrad on Twitter. You know, send some love and support over to them guys. I know their numbers are huge, but guys, I mean, this is our huge deal right here. We're breaking it in, and we're breaking it in big. We're trying to get our names out there with this podcast so that we're getting your names out there and getting you some more coverage and getting you guys bookings everywhere, because we've already been hurt in Canada. We've already been hurt in the UK. Our numbers are growing daily. They're doubling every time I'm looking at the statistics. Guys, he's not the last big name we're going to talk to. There's more to come. He's not the last. I promise you that. We're doing everything we can to get guys that are from this area, guys that have got their start in this area, guys that wrestle in this area but have been to the big leagues to come on this podcast. And we're doing everything we can to bring y'all the best entertainment we can. You know, we get on here, we stumble around, but we're doing it for y'all. We don't have a script in front of us. This isn't something that we sit down and we take 20 minutes to write a script out before we get on the phone with somebody. We get on the phone with these guys, and we absolutely have an off-the-cuff conversation, don't we, Carl?
Oh, most definitely.
I mean, that was... Now, granted, we knew a couple of days ago we were going to get to talk to Conrad. We didn't know for sure if everything was going to happen the way we thought it would, but guys, it was a blessing. I mean, that's one of the biggest names in podcasting today. They've podcasted him and Bruce Prichard on WWE Network doing Something Else to Wrestle. Something to Wrestle With. 83 Weeks with Bischoff. What Happened When with Tony Schiavone. And he just endorsed us by coming on our show, guys. So we're doing something right. We're getting attention everywhere. So it's something big. Maybe it'll help you guys get somewhere and get your name out there, get your promotion's name out there. And we're going to keep coming at you guys with everything we can come at you with. We didn't do, I think we had, 18 minutes with him? 19 minutes with him, because he had, like I said, he had another recording he had to go do, and that's something he's getting paid for, and he wasn't getting paid to be on the phone with us. So that's why I was so honored that he would take the time out and come on the phone with us, because he's, you know, taking time out of his busy schedule to come on with us, because he's got other people to record with, and he's running his own business and things, guys. So if y'all listen to this episode, and it's the only episode you listen to, that's great. It's not going to be the longest episode we've done, and that's no big deal. Go ahead while we're still on the air. We'll talk about Nick Aldis, as a matter of fact, who will be at All In defending against Cody if he doesn't lose to the human highlight reel, Austin Lane,
Saturday night.
Well, this podcast isn't going to air before Saturday night. So this podcast will be on next week. So if he loses, we'll find out next week after this podcast is already aired, and we'll talk about that on a later show. But, you know, Nick Aldis might lose to the one and only human highlight reel Austin Lane at the CCW show, and it may be Austin Lane going to All In. You never know. There's also big shows coming up. Dyersburg, Pro Wrestling Mid-South. They're going to have Hardcore Holly, Johnny Mundo, Johnny Nitro, Johnny Morrison, whatever you know him as. He's going to be there. Thank our sponsors, of course, for getting us in here today. Marty's Creation, Rent One of Paragold, Swirls of Paragold, collarandelbowbrand.com. Ladies and gentlemen, use code CCWA29. Please check out Collar and Elbow Brand. Help Al Snow. Help us, because that's what the sponsorship's all about. The more you guys go over there and show love and support for the Collar and Elbow Brand, the more love and support they show to your favorite podcast and to CCWA. Dead air for a minute, because Titanic ain't got nothing to say. I think he's still a little starstruck. And this was one of our huge announcements that we had coming up. So if everybody is wondering who the huge announcement is, we will release that information. You know, I'm still kind of in shock that that the phone call came through. We've had our moments in this podcasting thing. You know what I mean? We've had our moments, Carl. We've sat around and we've waited for phone calls that never came, and we've called folks that didn't answer, and Conrad actually called us, and man, I'm so proud that he called. I'm so just overjoyed. I don't even know what to say. I mean,
I'm excited. It's given me a new outlook.
Huge.
I think whatever we put our minds to, we will succeed.
Amen, brother.
I'm just excited. I don't know what else to say, really.
It kind of goes against all that negativity and all that bullshit that we was putting up with. And it kind of shows them and it shows everybody that we can still do something, like you said, when you put your mind to it. There's great things to come. You know, and back on that bullshit and positive, that negativity crap that was going on. This right here is just an example of what we've got to come, guys. We've got other big names we're sitting down with. We got other big names we're talking to, trying to get on the podcast, and they're talking to us and wanting to give their story on this podcast. We've actually got somebody else we'll be recording with later this afternoon while recording this one. We've got several in the can that are coming up for you. Some good ones, some fun ones. This one will be short. It'll be sweet. But, guys, it was worth it. It was worth the wait for us. It'll be worth the wait for y'all to find out who the big announcement is.
It will be posted. Today is Friday, the 27th. It'll be posted Monday.
We're going to release the announcement here within just a little bit on our Facebook pages and everything and let everybody know what's going on. But if you want to, show some love, not only to Wrestling with the Locals, first and foremost, but go over there and check out 83 Weeks with Eric Bischoff, something to wrestle with Bruce Prichard, What Happened When with Tony Schiavone, because their co-host, the great, wonderful Conrad Thompson, came over here and he shared some love and support with us. So go over there and check them guys out. We're
send them a tweet, tell them that you heard about them from us.
Yeah, go over there and let them know, hey, Wrestling with the Locals, we heard you on there and we're following you now. Check him out on Twitter at Hey It's Conrad. Also, check us out on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Stitcher, Anchor. Always want to thank our sponsors. We want to thank everybody that's listening. We want everybody to know that we appreciate y'all taking the time to download and listen to our podcast and our ramblings and the interviews we've done and things like that. And like I said, we'd done a longer segment with him, but he had another recording to get to. So I guess we're fixing to get off the air and stop rambling. And this will be it, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed it.